Y'all, the moment Mama Joyce stepped back into the spotlight, nothing would ever be the same. What started as whispers behind closed doors, quiet rumors floating in reality TV corners, exploded into a storm so big, so shocking, that the world collectively gasped. DNA reports, secrets hidden for years, betrayals carefully buried, they're all out now. And at the center of it, Kandi Burruss, the sweet, innocent girl whose entire world just shattered in front of millions of eyes. Sources say Mama Joyce didn't just spill tea. She detonated an atomic bomb. The DNA allegedly proves what no one expected. Colman Domingo, not Russell Block Spencer, is Riley's biological father. The revelation hit like a freight train. Riley's face crumpled, tears streaming, a heartbreak so raw, so public, it left everyone stunned. And then there's Kandi Burruss, silent, almost paralyzed, while Todd, ever the provocateur, fueled the fire, calling her a cheater, letting chaos reign. Social media exploded. Clips, leaked messages, theories spinning out of control. Every eye glued to screens, every heart racing, because the truth isn't just shocking, it's explosive. And one thing's clear, the Burruss family will never, ever be the same again. Buckle up. You're about to witness a reality TV revelation that will haunt headlines, feeds, and conversations for months. Y'all, from the moment Mama Joyce walked into the room with that DNA report in her hands, the air changed. It wasn't just tension, it was electricity. A storm was brewing, one that nobody, not even the most die-hard reality TV watchers, saw coming. For years, Kandi Burruss had maintained this picture-perfect image. Sweet mom, loving partner, industry queen. But behind closed doors, sources say, things were far from perfect. And now, every carefully crafted facade, every PR perfect moment, was under siege. Kandi Burruss, that bright-eyed, radiant little girl, suddenly became the unwitting center of a scandal so raw, so explosive, it felt like watching a slow-motion car crash with no hope of avoiding the impact. Insiders tell us that the relationship between Kandi and Colman Domingo wasn't some passing fling. It was a hidden, long-standing connection that Mama Joyce uncovered through meticulous investigation. Weeks of whispered phone calls, secret meetings, and hushed confessions came to light in a single, shattering moment. And let me tell you, when the DNA results hit the camera lens, the room went silent. Dead silent. Riley, normally laughing and playful, froze. Her eyes, wide and searching, darted between her mother and the reality of what Mama Joyce had just unleashed. The innocence she carried like a shield was cracking in real time. And then Todd stepped in. Oh, you already know Todd. He thrives in moments like these, the kind of chaos that most people can't even stomach. With that sly smirk plastered across his face, he called Kandi a cheater. Just like that. The moment the words left his lips, it was like tossing gasoline onto a fire that was already out of control. Social media erupted instantly. Clips of Todd's accusation looped endlessly. Leaked messages and screenshots flooded Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Fans debated, theorized, and straight up argued about every detail. Who knew? Who didn't? Was this premeditated? Or just the result of years of hidden betrayal? Every rumor, every theory, suddenly had teeth. Every viewer felt like they were video of the moment, witnessing history unravel right in front of them. But let's talk about Mama Joyce for a second, because she wasn't just stirring the pot, she was detonating a bomb. People close to the family say she had been quietly gathering evidence for weeks, maybe months. Calls, texts, receipts, and yes, the DNA report itself. And she didn't leak it carelessly. No, this was calculated. She waited for the perfect storm, the precise moment when Kandi's carefully curated image and Riley's innocence could be disrupted to maximum effect. And the results? Cataclysmic. Riley's father, Colman Domingo. The shock alone is enough to leave anyone speechless, but when you see it unfold on camera, with Todd fanning the flames, it's almost unbearable. Riley's reaction was immediate. A mix of disbelief, heartbreak, and a haunting sense of betrayal. "Is this true?" she whispered, her voice trembling, almost breaking entirely. Kandi's silence in response spoke louder than any denial could. And that silence, it didn't just sit there quietly, it ignited speculation. Millions watching wondered, What was Kandi thinking? What had she been hiding? What conversations had taken place behind closed doors that would explain this? Every viewer felt the weight of the question, the electric tension of a family's private life being shredded in public. And the timing, the timing couldn't have been more perfect. Mama Joyce had already made headlines with her previous exposes, but this one? This one was a masterstroke of drama. She didn't just expose a secret, she exposed a life. A child's identity, a mother's past, and a public figure's carefully guarded image, all in one fell swoop. You could feel it across social media. Hashtags trending, threads multiplying, endless theories. Clips of Riley's heartbreak looping over and over, while Todd's glee amplified the chaos. People were losing it. Outrage, sympathy, anger, disbelief, all simultaneously. And the craziest part, no one could turn away. Everyone was watching. Sources tell us that Kandi's inner circle was blindsided. Even those closest to her reportedly didn't know the full story. Her silence wasn't just for the cameras, it was shock, guilt, and maybe a little fear. Fear of what this would mean for Riley, for her career, and for the web of relationships she had spent decades building. Every move, every glance, every pause was dissected in real time by an audience of millions. And Riley, she became the tragic lens through which everyone absorbed the scandal. A bright, innocent child forced into the unforgiving glare of reality TV and social media scrutiny. It was heartbreaking, and people couldn't look away. And then there's the psychology behind it all. Mama Joyce's decision to go public, according to insiders, wasn't just about revenge or stirring drama. It was about control, about exposing what she saw as a long-standing betrayal. The way she orchestrated the timing, the evidence, even the presence of cameras, everything was calculated to maximize emotional impact. And Todd? He understood that instinctively. His smirk, his comments, his opportunism, they weren't just for show. They were this video of a machine that turned private heartbreak into a public spectacle. Meanwhile, Riley's world was collapsing. Friends, family, mentors, all suddenly became video of this narrative without warning. The little girl who had trusted her mother completely now had to navigate a sea of doubt and betrayal, trying to reconcile her love with the shocking truth that had just been revealed. And the DNA report itself. It became a weapon, each page dissected, each result discussed, each implication analyzed to the extreme. No detail was too small. Every alleged text, every previous rumor, every suspicious glance now carried a weight it never had before. And let's not forget the fallout beyond the family. Fans and critics alike were obsessed. Social media threads erupted in outrage and speculation. Analysts debated the implications. Was there potential for legal battles? Custody disputes? Defamation claims? Maybe. But the emotional narrative was far more compelling than any legal argument. Riley's heartbreak was visceral. Kandi's silence was deafening. Todd's provocation was relentless. And the world couldn't stop watching. It's also important to consider the conspiracies that started swirling. Some claimed this was orchestrated by someone outside the family, a jealous rival, or a sneaky ex. Others suggested that Colman Domingo himself had been pulling strings behind the scenes. Every whisper, every theory, every speculative social media post gained traction, turning a single revelation into a sprawling viral narrative. And through it all, Riley remained at the center, the innocent caught in the storm of adult secrets and public spectacle. By the time the news had fully spread, reality TV commentators, influencers, and even mainstream outlets were dissecting every moment. Every clip of Riley crying, every smirk from Todd, every pause from Kandi, it became content, fuel for discussion, and another layer of the drama. The scandal wasn't just news. It was a cultural moment. A viral wave that transcended the Burruss household, turning a family crisis into a public obsession. And yet, even as the story spread, the tension remained unbearable. Nobody could predict how Kandi would respond, how Riley would cope, or what Mama Joyce would do next. Every second on camera, every reaction, every glance was loaded with meaning. Insiders hinted at long-hidden conflicts, unresolved resentment, and simmering secrets that might come to light in the coming weeks. Every fan, every viewer, felt like they were witnessing history in the making, A live, unfiltered unraveling of a family once thought untouchable. The emotional gravity of the situation cannot be overstated. Riley's sobs echoed beyond the walls of her home, felt through the devices of millions. Kandi's composure, fractured though it seemed, was scrutinized frame by frame. Todd's opportunism ensured that the chaos remained viral, unstoppable. And Mama Joyce. She had orchestrated an event so dramatic, so meticulously timed, that it redefined what viewers thought was possible in reality TV scandal. By the end of this first wave, the world knew the truth, or at least what Mama Joyce claimed was the truth. Colman Domingo, not Russell Block Spencer, was allegedly Riley's father. And the fallout was just beginning. Fans were divided. Some sympathized with Riley. Some criticized Kandi. Others reveled in Todd's commentary. Every detail, every word, every image shared online created ripples that could not be contained. And all the while, the human cost, the heartbreak, the betrayal, the tension, remained front and center. Buckle up, because this storm is far from over. Video of this saga ends with the world collectively holding its breath. Riley's innocence is shattered. Kandi's silence looms large. Todd's provocations continue. And Mama Joyce. She's only just begun. The narrative is set. The characters are defined. And the viral wave is gathering strength, promising a cascade of revelations, heartbreak, and drama that will leave viewers unable to look away. As the social media storm intensified, Kandi Burruss retreated into herself. That bright, playful smile that once lit up every camera frame was gone, replaced by wide, tear-filled eyes and a trembling lip that betrayed a grief too heavy for her young shoulders. Every movement she made seemed tentative, as if stepping into a room now required navigating a minefield of betrayal and hidden truths. Insiders say she spent hours just sitting in silence, staring at the walls of her home, trying to piece together a life that suddenly seemed like a lie. For Riley, every hug, every word of reassurance from her mother now carried a weight of doubt. How could the woman who raised her, the woman she trusted the most, keep such a monumental secret hidden? Kandi Burruss, meanwhile, was a study in contradictions. Publicly, she maintained a composed exterior, but those close to her revealed that behind the camera, the atmosphere was suffocating. Friends and aides described a tension that was almost tangible. Every step she took, every glance she cast, seemed calculated to navigate the treacherous waters that Mama Joyce had just unleashed. She was aware that millions were dissecting her every reaction, reading meaning into pauses, gestures, and expressions. And yet, despite the scrutiny, she said very little. That silence, dense, oppressive, and almost accusatory, became a magnet for speculation. Todd, ever the provocateur, continued to stoke the flames. His commentary, dripping with sarcasm and pointed innuendos, amplified the public outrage and heartbreak. Every sly remark about Kandi's alleged infidelity and Colman Domingo's hidden role fueled endless debates online. Clips of him smirking at the chaos circulated endlessly, providing fans with bite-sized moments to analyze, replay, and discuss. According to insiders, Todd thrived on this type of drama, understanding instinctively how to push buttons without ever appearing to do so. His role wasn't just opportunistic, it was pivotal in shaping the narrative, turning private heartbreak into a public spectacle. But the real drama unfolded inside the Burruss household. Riley's questions, simple and piercing, hung in the air like a noose. "Is this true?" she asked again, voice barely a whisper, the innocence in her tone clashing violently with the adult complexities surrounding her. Kandi's continued silence only intensified the tension. Some say she struggled with guilt, others believe she was paralyzed by the awareness that every word could either mitigate or exacerbate the damage. Each attempt to comfort her daughter seemed fraught with danger. Too much explanation, and she risked incriminating herself in the court of public opinion. Too little, and Riley's trust could fracture irreparably. Social media, of course, was relentless. Memes, video compilations, and leaked text messages exploded across platforms. Every viewer became a detective, sifting through old footage, interviews, and social posts to find hidden clues, each one fueling speculation about Kandi and Colman Domingo's past. Threads debated timelines, questioned loyalties, and constructed theories that often outpaced reality itself. One insider revealed that some posts even hinted at a secret meeting in Los Angeles years prior, a gathering that supposedly laid the foundation for Riley's true parentage. True or not, these whispers became viral currency, traded across social media like precious information, each new post ratcheting up tension and feeding a public obsession. The fallout wasn't just virtual. Friends, colleagues, and even former collaborators were caught in the ripple effect. Industry insiders described tense phone calls, quiet whispers in hallways, and sudden cancellations of meetings. The entertainment world, usually focused on careers and contracts, became an echo chamber of personal betrayal and scandal. Some associates reportedly feared getting too close, worried that association with the Burruss family could compromise their own reputations. And all the while, Mama Joyce's presence loomed large. She had turned her investigation into a spectacle, her fearless exposure ensuring that private lives were no longer private. Psychologically, the impact on Riley was profound. Experts observing the situation commented on the trauma of identity disruption, the sudden revelation that the man she had believed to be her father all her life might not be. The sense of trust and security, once foundational, was now eroded. Every interaction with her mother, every glance exchanged, carried unspoken tension. According to sources, Riley spent hours questioning what she had been told, replaying conversations in her mind, and trying to reconcile love with doubt. Childhood innocence, for her, was irrevocably altered. Kandi's friends described a woman caught between two worlds. Publicly, she faced judgment from millions. Privately, she wrestled with guilt, fear, and the pressure of protecting her child. Insiders say she attempted to maintain composure during camera shoots, interviews, and social media appearances. But behind the scenes, the strain was palpable. Every move was calculated, every word measured. And yet, no amount of strategy could completely shield her from the tidal wave of scrutiny and emotional fallout. Meanwhile, Todd's antics continued to dominate online conversations. Clips of his sharp, biting comments circulated endlessly, with fans praising his candor while criticizing his insensitivity. The public seemed equally captivated and horrified. Some accused him of exploiting a child's heartbreak for attention. Others argued that his commentary was necessary to expose the truth and hold Kandi accountable. Regardless, the result was the same. Engagement skyrocketed, hashtags trended, and the scandal evolved into a full-blown viral phenomenon. Insiders revealed that Colman Domingo himself had remained largely silent, aware of the explosive nature of the revelation. Rumors swirled that he had been involved in private discussions with Kandi years ago, discussions that had remained undisclosed until Mama Joyce brought them to light. Every public appearance, every cryptic social media post, and every avoided interview fueled speculation. Was he complicit? Was he aware? Or was he merely a peripheral figure thrust into a spotlight he never sought? The questions alone were enough to keep the internet buzzing. As this video of this saga unfolded, the Burruss household became a pressure cooker of tension, grief, and unresolved questions. Riley's heartbreak remained visible, a constant reminder of the stakes at hand. Kandi's silence was heavy, almost suffocating, and Todd's provocations ensured that the emotional storm could not be ignored. Every passing day brought new leaks, new theories, and fresh speculation, expanding the narrative into something larger than a single family's tragedy. Sources close to the family hinted at additional revelations lurking just beneath the surface. Old emails, previously hidden interactions, and private conversations were all rumored to be part of the growing puzzle. Every insider report, every alleged conversation, added depth to the narrative, creating a tapestry of drama that felt both intimate and universally compelling. Fans debated whether Kandi had been deceitful or whether she was a victim of circumstance, while social media algorithms amplified each new post, feeding the frenzy in real time. The psychological toll on Riley continued to grow. Experts observing the situation noted the risk of prolonged emotional stress from public exposure, compounded by the sudden upheaval of her family structure. Each tear she shed, each question she asked, became a microcosm of the human cost behind viral entertainment. The innocence lost, the trust disrupted, and the emotional complexity she faced were all magnified by the global audience that had become uninvited witnesses to her private grief. And yet, the spectacle was mesmerizing. Viewers across the globe found themselves drawn into the narrative, unable to look away. Every clip, every leaked conversation, and every comment thread created a feedback loop of engagement. People weren't just watching, they were participating, theorizing, and projecting themselves into the drama. Mama Joyce had turned private truth into public obsession, a move that ensured the story would dominate headlines and feeds for weeks, if not months. By the close of this video, the scene was set for an even deeper unraveling. Riley's heartbreak, Kandi's silence, Todd's provocation, and Mama Joyce's fearless exposure had created a volatile mix of human emotion and public spectacle. The DNA revelation was no longer just news, it was a viral narrative, a live unfolding drama that challenged perceptions, questioned morality, and captivated an audience hungry for the next twist. And the twists were far from over. Rumors of more secrets, unspoken betrayals, and hidden truths suggested that the Burruss family story had only just begun. Every viewer knew that what Mama Joyce had exposed was merely the tip of the iceberg. The emotional, psychological, and social fallout promised to be explosive, keeping audiences on edge and glued to every development. The morning after the initial revelation, the Burruss household was quiet, but the silence was anything but peaceful. Riley Burruss woke with a heaviness in her chest, a sense of betrayal that seemed to seep into her very bones. Every familiar corner of her home now felt alien. The walls that had once felt protective now seemed to close in, heavy with secrets and half-truths. She wandered from room to room, clutching at fragments of normalcy, each memory now tainted with doubt. Insiders say she spent hours scrolling through her own social media, watching clips of herself, her mother, and Todd, trying to reconcile what she had thought was reality with the explosive truth Mama Joyce had revealed. Kandi Burruss's silence, meanwhile, became almost deafening. Friends close to her revealed that she moved through her day with a careful, measured precision. Every glance, every small gesture, seemed weighed against the invisible scale of public opinion. She had learned long ago how to control her narrative, but Mama Joyce's revelation stripped away that control, leaving Kandi exposed to the harsh glare of millions. Some sources describe moments where she would pause mid-conversation, as if weighing the potential fallout of each word before speaking. Even family members admitted they could sense a tension radiating from her, the kind that comes from living under a microscope where every misstep can become global news. Todd, of course, was thriving in the chaos. Clips of him smirking, whispering, and making subtle digs continued to dominate social media. But insiders indicate that even he felt the weight of this moment. Unlike previous dramas, this was not just a celebrity feud. This was a child's heartbreak played out publicly. Todd's commentary, while provocative, began to carry an undercurrent of unease. He understood that Riley's emotional vulnerability was being broadcast globally, and every sarcastic remark he made now held consequences beyond mere entertainment. Colman Domingo, too, remained largely in the shadows, but rumors about him swirled like wildfire. Online sleuths began digging into old interviews, past events, and public appearances, searching for the tiniest hint of truth. Some posts claimed insider knowledge of a long-standing secret meeting between Kandi and Colman, a whispered rendezvous that allegedly predated Riley's birth. Whether true or not, these narratives fed the fire, ensuring that every day brought fresh speculation and viral debate. The public's fascination with the supposed hidden history of their relationship turned Colman into a symbol of secrecy, intrigue, and scandal. Meanwhile, Riley's emotional journey became increasingly visible. Experts observing the situation noted that the sudden revelation of her biological father had the potential to cause profound identity disruption. Riley's questions, simple yet piercing, seemed to echo endlessly. Why didn't anyone tell me? Who am I really? Can I even trust my own family? Each query revealed a child grappling with truths too complex for her years, her grief magnified by the relentless attention of an audience that spanned continents. Sources inside the family described the tension as almost unbearable. Kandi tried to maintain a semblance of normalcy, but even routine conversations with Riley carried the weight of potential missteps. Every hug, every word, every glance was now analyzed, both by Riley and by millions of online viewers. The emotional strain was compounded by the knowledge that social media had effectively transformed the Burruss home into a public stage, with every tear and every silence dissected and debated. The public's obsession reached new heights. Threads on Twitter exploded with theories, old photos were combed through for hidden clues, and video compilations of Riley, Kandi, and Todd circulated endlessly. Some fans speculated that there were more secrets hidden, perhaps other children or additional affairs. Others debated the morality of exposing a child's personal life for the sake of entertainment. Yet, regardless of the angle, the engagement was relentless. Every clip, meme, and rumor became fuel for a global conversation that showed no signs of slowing down. As the story unfolded, Kandi reportedly began to retreat further into herself. Insiders claimed that she spent long hours consulting lawyers and publicists, trying to navigate the delicate balance between protecting her daughter and maintaining some control over her own narrative. But even the most carefully crafted strategies could not contain the tsunami of public scrutiny. Every social media algorithm, every trending hashtag, and every news outlet was feeding on the drama, amplifying it, ensuring that the Burruss family story became a viral spectacle with global reach. The psychological strain on Riley intensified as well. Experts suggested that the emotional upheaval she faced, grappling with a new father, questioning her mother's honesty, and being watched by millions, was akin to living in a pressure cooker. Every interaction, even those meant to comfort her, carried potential emotional landmines. Insiders noted that she often retreated into her room, headphones on, trying to find moments of solace away from the relentless gaze of both the cameras and the online world. Todd's presence, ever calculated, continued to shape the narrative. While some criticized him for exploiting a child's grief, others argued that his commentary was necessary to illuminate the truth. Clips of him subtly referencing Kandi and Colman's alleged long-term secret circulated widely, each one dissected for hidden meaning. Fans debated his motives endlessly. Was he genuinely exposing a scandal, or was he using the moment to bolster his own influence? Whatever the reason, Todd's involvement ensured that the emotional storm could not be ignored. Colman Domingo's silence only added to the suspense. Speculation ran rampant that he had been aware of the DNA results for some time, that he might have been part of secret conversations, or that he could have played a role in shaping Riley's understanding of her family. Each theory, whether grounded in truth or pure conjecture, fueled social media frenzy, keeping the public glued to every detail. Rumors even suggested that he had consulted legal advisors to manage potential fallout, though none of these reports could be independently verified. As Part 3 progressed, the Burruss family saga became a case study in viral spectacle. Riley's heartbreak, Kandi's silence, Todd's provocations, and Colman's enigmatic presence combined to create a narrative that was both emotionally devastating and irresistibly engaging. Every moment was magnified, every glance loaded with meaning, every pause pregnant with possibility. The DNA revelation, once a private document, had transformed into a global phenomenon, its ripple effects touching fans, celebrities, and ordinary viewers alike. The pressure inside the Burruss household reached a climax as Riley confronted her mother privately. Insiders revealed that the conversation was tense, filled with unspoken words and glances heavy with accusation. Kandi reportedly tried to reassure her daughter, but the weight of the revelation, compounded by public attention, made genuine comfort nearly impossible. Every word could be misinterpreted, every gesture analyzed, and every pause scrutinized. The dynamic between mother and daughter had shifted irreversibly, a private pain made public by Mama Joyce's relentless exposure. Outside the home, social media algorithms amplified the drama. Each post, comment, and video clip spread faster than official statements could respond. Memes depicting Riley's heartbreak went viral. Hashtags about Kandi and Colman trended worldwide. Fans dissected past interviews, searching for any indication that the truth had been hidden from them. The narrative expanded beyond the family, touching the broader discourse about trust, secrecy, and celebrity accountability. The stakes continued to escalate. Legal experts began weighing in on potential implications, speculating about custody, defamation, and public perception. Meanwhile, social media users debated morality, privacy, and the ethics of turning a child's life into public entertainment. Every angle, every analysis, added layers of tension, making the Burruss family story not just a personal tragedy, but a cultural phenomenon that captured global attention. By the end of this video, The Burruss saga had reached a fever pitch. Riley's grief, Kandi's silence, Todd's commentary, and Colman's ambiguous presence combined into a perfect storm of viral spectacle. Every detail, every leak, and every whisper contributed to a narrative that felt both intimate and universally compelling. The DNA revelation had irrevocably altered family dynamics, public perception, and social media discourse. The fallout promised more heartbreak, more exposure, and more viral intrigue, ensuring that audiences would remain captivated for weeks to come. The Burruss family saga had transformed from private turmoil into a global spectacle. Every heartbeat of the audience mirrored Riley's sorrow. Every comment, clip, and post amplified the tension. Social media had become a courtroom, the public both jury and witness, dissecting, debating, and speculating about every detail. Mama Joyce's exposure had set the stage for a narrative that was emotionally intense, psychologically gripping, and explosively dramatic. The world was watching, and the Burruss family would never be the same. And now, the world waits. Riley Burruss, caught in the crossfire of revelation and betrayal, continues to navigate a reality she never asked for. Every tear, every question she utters, echoes far beyond the walls of her home, ricocheting across timelines, feeds, and screens worldwide. Kandi Burruss, once untouchable, now walks a tightrope of scrutiny, every gesture and glance dissected by millions, her silence speaking louder than any explanation could. Todd, relentless as ever, lingers in the shadows of controversy, ensuring that the scandal never fades, that every rumor, every whisper, remains alive in the public consciousness. Colman Domingo's name, now etched into the heart of this explosive saga, looms like a specter over the Burruss family, a reminder of secrets long buried and truths too powerful to ignore. Every leaked clip, every viral post, every heated debate fuels the fire, making the narrative larger than life, impossible to escape. The social media storm shows no mercy, consuming every angle, every perspective, and amplifying the heartbreak, the betrayal, and the tension that continues to build with each passing moment. The question remains: how does a family survive when every private fracture becomes public spectacle? How does a child process a revelation that redefines their very identity? And who will speak next? Who will break the silence? And what new truths will surface in the fallout from Mama Joyce's fearless expose? The Burruss family story has entered a chapter that cannot be closed. The viral wave of heartbreak, scandal, and revelation continues to swell, carrying every viewer along in a tide of anticipation and raw emotion. The truth is out, the stakes are higher than ever, and the world is watching, riveted, horrified, and desperate to see what comes next. Hold your breath. Stay glued. Because this saga is far from over, and the next twist could change everything again. The Burruss family will never be the same, and neither will the eyes of the world that watch, waiting for every explosive moment.